for The Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the Greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's The Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm Tyler Kieft. Thank you for joining us. Construction at Sheiko Elementary School is making quick progress, leaving many passers-by to see the huge new elementary school and wonder of what's to come. Civic Center TV's Kevin McIntosh has the scoop.
With news of a state-of-the-art building that incorporates the latest in technology for education, the West Bloomfield community is excited for the brand new Sheiko Elementary School. Jamie Stoudemire, Assistant Superintendent for Facilities and Operations for West Bloomfield School District, took us on an exclusive tour as it's being built to give us some details.
The building is essentially divided up into 5 parts. They're going to be working on the building from west to east. At the far east end over there, they've started the new preschool, which will be attached to the main building. All of the classrooms are here on the south side of the building. The architect designed that purposefully to get in a lot of natural light into those rooms. And then beyond that, there's a large open concourse. And then beyond that, we have the gymnasium and cafeteria, so we'll go check it all out.
Mr. Stoudemire started the tour inside, highlighting one of the newest features for safety and security of the students.
One of the things I wanted to mention that's nice about this building, and we're going to incorporate this into the design at Doherty, is we have these safety cubbies. It's essentially the safety shelter for 2 classrooms. So 2 classrooms then would be able to go into these cubby rooms right here, close the door, and this becomes their safety shelter for both severe weather, and if they have a lockdown incident, they would be able to go into these cubbies and be safe.
As we continue to the second floor, Jamie shares the purpose of an extended learning space.
This here is the campfire circle. It's actually going to be an enclosed extended learning area. And that's one of the things in modern education is the kids aren't just in the classroom all day long. Learning is everywhere. So they bring them out into these extended learning spaces where they could, get 1 or 2 classrooms here together and work on lessons with the kids. So this here overlooks the main concourse, as you can see from the second floor.
We also explored the cafeteria area with the unique piece of technology installed.
So here we are in the new cafeteria. As you can see, we have a large bay window in the back. They're going to have some blackout roller shades that come down, and that's going to transform into the stage area when they need it. So this is a very bright open space. It's fairly large. They're going to have a neat piece of equipment over on that wall called the Sketch Aquarium. It's going to allow the students to sketch out fish, and it's going to import them onto the screen, and they can move the fish around on the screen and stuff. It's going to be a pretty cool feature, to provide some additional ties to the curriculum here.
At the conclusion of the tour, Jamie explains what's still being worked on and when the school will be open.
We can't go any further. Obviously, you can see the caution tape there. The steel workers are putting up the structural steel in the office area. Above the office is going to be the new eye center and STEAM lab, so they're getting that all prepped. And for safety reasons, we can't go any further. But just beyond that is the gymnasium, and beyond that, we have more classrooms and stuff. So it's kind of a mirror image of this half of the building. But we're getting we're very excited. It's moving along really well, and we're slated to be done in June. So we're excited.
Top-of-the-line technology embedded in this learning facility will make it one of the best experiences for our local youth to be a part of. The new Sheiko Elementary School is set to open in the fall of 2026. From West Bloomfield, I'm Kevin McIntosh, Civic Center TV.
A lot of progress made in just a little over a year since the construction broke ground, and a year from now, kids will be getting ready to go into Sheiko at its new location for the very first time. For more updates on the Sheiko Elementary School construction project and other updates from the West Bloomfield School District, join them on Facebook at West Bloomfield Schools. It's not very often nowadays that a new municipality pops up in Michigan or really anywhere across the United States, and especially unique is when it happens right here in our own backyard. Reporter Daniel Zivian has the story.
I'm at the entrance of Zox Cass Lakeside. It's one of the older subdivisions in West Bloomfield, and it's already in its own little world.
We have our own municipal water system. We have roughly 4 miles of roads that we maintain, 3 miles of canals that we maintain. We have 15 vehicular bridges, and all this infrastructure is over 100 years old. When we started looking around for road funding or for water funding, they assume in the first place that if you're managing all this infrastructure that you must be a municipality, so everything is written with that assumption in mind. And because of it, we don't qualify for any funding.
But without those funds, Cass Lakeside is an infrastructure time bomb. Some homes are separated from the mainland by 4 to 6 bridges.
If we weren't in a position to be able to, say, borrow money as a community to fix the bridges, then that responsibility would be for those individual homeowners. So that means they would either have to split the cost of a $1 million bridge, or they wouldn't be able to get emergency services. Fire trucks, ambulances couldn't come to their house. According to the township attorney, we'd be looking at possibly seeing those houses get condemned.
LeDuc says the process began 3 years ago, only securing approval from the State Boundary Commission earlier this year. LeDuc says it could not have been done without the support of his neighbors.
In a lot of communities, neighbors don't even know each other, and we pack our community center in these meetings that we have about the village. So it feels really good that so many people are willing to get together and take chances and solve problems.
LeDuc says residents will elect a 5-member charter commission this November with 3 chances to approve a charter in August 2026. Taxes will go up, but as LeDuc says, quote, there are no free options. For Civic Center TV, I'm Daniel Zivian reporting.
The Village Incorporation shifts much of the maintenance burden of the community onto the community's residents themselves, although essential services such as public safety, as well as some of the more recreational services like the library and parks and recreation, will continue to be provided by West Bloomfield Township. In addition, the Cass Lakeside Village, becoming a village itself, will not impact the tax base of West Bloomfield Township, as that community will continue to pay West Bloomfield taxes in order to receive many of those essential services. Close to home this weekend, music out on your street in Sylvan Lake. The Sil Sunsets concert series continues Saturday in the prettiest little city, out on Lakeview from 7 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. with the tropically inspired Croon Band taking the stage. Tropical attire helps the ambiance, of course, for the concert-going experience, but they'll still let you in, even if you aren't necessarily living the Parrot Head lifestyle. The Sil Sunsets concert series is a modern tradition in Sylvan Lake, born in the COVID age and still connecting residents, neighbors, and families every summer to this day, while supporting musicians from across the local area. More info is available on this and other upcoming concerts in the series all throughout the summer in the Sylvan Lake What's Going On Facebook group, including how you can contribute to the concerts now and in the future. Your trip to the Oakland County Clerk's office is about to be a lot smoother. Gone are the days where you had to go necessarily into the office to get some of those critical real estate documents when you end up purchasing or selling a home. A thing of the past, that is, and a huge relief for local homeowners and a cause for national recognition. The Oakland County Clerk's Office recently picked up the 2025 National Association of Counties Achievement Award for their MyPropDocs service, allowing residents to electronically record critical real estate documents. Here to tell us more about this award-winning service is Oakland County Clerk and West Bloomfield resident Lisa Brown. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Tyler.
Yeah, happy to have you on and congratulations to you and your office and the whole team at the Oakland County Clerk and Register of Deeds office on winning this award from the National Association of Counties. But before we dive too much into what went into earning this award, tell us more about MyPropDocs and how that helps residents directly here in Greater West Bloomfield and across the county.
Well, electronic recording of documents has for years been a convenience for our high frequency recorders like title companies, but individuals trying to record certain kind of documents, non-conveyance documents, have either had to walk those in or mail them in and not had this convenience of being able to electronically submit. And it's something I've been working on for years, and happy that this is phase 1, but that it finally came to fruition, and really honored that actually some of my colleagues are already trying to duplicate the program. So it's the first of its kind in the country, and just excited to be able to offer more accessibility to our residents.
And it's more convenient for the residents, and I would imagine, too, it helps speed up the process of somebody either selling a home or certainly those that want to move in as soon as possible to that brand new home that they've just acquired. So now, just how much, from your insight in the clerk's office, does it actually speed up that process, if at all?
If somebody's mailing a document in as opposed to, walking it in, and I think some of these documents are ones that would have been mailed in. Obviously, we never know how long the mail is going to take. And by the way, we don't charge you unless we accept the document. So it's a much faster, and it's more efficient for my staff to get through the electronic recordings as well. So it makes it faster on every side of the transaction, as far as us receiving it and us being able to process it as well.
And we mentioned that it's a lot of these pretty common critical documents when there is some sort of a real estate transaction, a change of ownership from a property in the Oakland County area. But what are some of the examples of those documents that people may be able to e-file?
Yeah, not something that's transferring ownership. So we're not taking any kind of conveyance documents yet, not any kind of deeds or anything like that. But these are release of liens. So for a homeowners association, I know you were just talking about those a little bit. If you don't pay your HOA dues, your association may put a lien on your home. When you pay that off, they have to discharge that lien. So those are documents that now can be electronically recorded. A Liz pendant, so a notice that there's a lawsuit going on. Documents of those sorts of types that we're accepting now from individuals.
So take us back to getting into this program, because you mentioned it's something that's now sort of the envy of other clerks' offices across not only Michigan, but around the country, who are now trying to emulate this in their local departments. So I would imagine for them it's been kind of difficult to find something of this kind that works really well for residents. So how did your office get to this?
Again, I've been working on this for years, and it was really in discussions with the vendors that do e-filing. So you have to e-recording, that you have to go through a platform, and they all kind of pushed back at first, and it was having a lot of conversations that one of them finally said, Simplifile finally said, okay, we're ready to have some discussions about this seriously. And, there were concerns about fraud, and fraud is a big issue that I have great concerns about, why I started my other award-winning program, PRN, Property Records Notification. But, when somebody is electronically submitting a document here through my prop docs, they have to upload a copy of their driver's license. They have to give their email address. They have to give their cell phone number, because they'll be sent a code to verify. And so we're getting more information, plus an IP address. So we're getting more information from someone who's submitting this way than somebody who is mailing a document in basically anonymously. So it kind of quelled their concerns of elevated chance of fraud, because it's actually reduced in some ways.
And you mentioned, too, that previously the property records notification system, or the PRN system that you just brought up, that also received quite a lot of national attention, too, back in 2019. It got some attention at the Google Next conference for it being kind of a unique service itself. Tell us more about that and how that also sort of incorporates that theme of security with this information and these documents, as you mentioned.
Yeah, I thank you. I always say I strive to make my office a model, not just for the rest of the state, but really for the country. And with these two programs, I have done that. They are both first of their kind in the country. Property Records Notification is a free program that people can sign up to get an alert when something is recorded in the Register of Deeds office here in Oakland County, and they can use any search term. They can do it on we suggest property ID number, your Sidwell number. It has different names, but it's the same thing. Only because if you're like me, right, I'm not the only Lisa Brown in Oakland County. I'm not even sure I'm the only Lisa Brown in West Bloomfield. So I know I wasn't at some point. So you're going to get, false alerts, because it's not going to be related to you. So something that's specific to your property, like your property ID number, is usually the best way to go. unless you're concerned about tax liens. So I give that little caveat there. But, you know, if you've heard commercials for, I think, Home Lock, I mean, and this is basically that except for free. And we can help you more than just telling you there's something. If you get an alert and you see that there's a lien on your property that, you know, you didn't get a new roof, why is there a lien on your property? You call our office and we're going to be able to walk you through what you need to do next.
Yeah, and it's a really important service to have, too, whether you feel like you immediately need it or not. The fact that it's free and it's offered by your local county, that information gets out there. There's inaccuracies in it. There's something that's filed incorrectly or falsely filed on your behalf. You get that notification. The earlier you have it, the quicker you can address it and the less problems it can bring up for you as well.
Absolutely.
Oakland County Clerk and Register of Deeds Lisa Brown joins us on the Splash Live today. The Oakland County Clerk and Register of Deeds office earned a 2025 National Association of Counties Achievement Award for the innovative MyPropDocs services, helping to electronically file many of those essential real estate documents during that process, and joins us to tell us more about that on today's edition of the program. Lisa, another big element of being able to electronically file these documents is accessibility for those that may not be able to move around as easily. They can do this from the convenience of their home. So in terms of helping individuals make that more convenient for them in those situations, and even those that may be able, maybe less technologically savvy, what sort of assistance is available through the clerk's office to help people electronically file these documents?
So we've got a video on our website going through the steps of how you do it. And, you know, again, if somebody has questions, they can always give us a call and we can walk them through the process. But there's FAQ on the website. So it's pretty self-explanatory as to when you upload the document, when you upload your ID. You know, and like I said, if we have to reject your document for some reason, again, if you submit a document that isn't a type that we accept this way, we're going to reject it. We're not going to charge you. So, but check out the video on the website. That kind of explains it. And again, someone can always call and we can walk you through the process as well.
So 6 years ago, it was the property records notification system that was getting that national recognition. Fast forward to recently, it's the MyPropDocs innovation. So many of these that are capturing the eye of other clerks departments in our state and around the country. So maybe give us a preview. What's next on the docket?
You know, I do have some other things that I'm working on, but I don't want to jinx anything. So it's they all take time. I mean, this again, both of those programs, it's not just overnight that these can be created, because they're being built from scratch, basically, and going over what everything looks like, what the user agreement looks like, what the FAQ looks like, even what it looks like on your computer to make it user friendly. They all take years to do, but I'm not done. Still some more innovations I'd like to bring.
And plenty more problems that can be solved and that can be helped by this technology, and keeping all that information in mind as you're putting together these programs. Not only ideas, but how to implement those ideas as well. And great to see that this is happening close to home here in Oakland County. Madam Clerk, thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it as always. More information on the MyPropDocs service, as well as others such as the property records notification system, can be found on oakgov.com/clerk. And you can always follow them for updates and more information on Facebook at OC Clerk Michigan for even more information all throughout the year. 25 years ago, the main branch of the West Bloomfield Township Public Library became a shining example of state-of-the-art library services in the Great Lakes State and across our nation. A quarter century later, expedient innovations and friendly, experienced staff have helped them maintain that reputation over at the Civic Center complex. Civic Center TV's Jake Schaff recently spoke to Steve Ketchum from the library team, who has been at the main since day number one, learning more about how they built and have maintained that legacy for all of these years.
Steve, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course, this is such a very exciting time for the main library branch. 25 years. I mean, that's certainly a very, very big milestone to celebrate. What emotions or reflections come to mind as you reach this milestone?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm grateful. I've been here since 1995, so I was here in the old library. So, I've seen how the library and the community has progressed in more than 25 years. But, just grateful that we, have such an amazing community that we work in. And I hope our library reflects that.
Oh, it absolutely does. It has made such a big impact on the Greater West Bloomfield community for these past 25 years and beyond. And I'm sure you've seen a lot of changes over that time. What have been some of the biggest changes that you've witnessed in how the library serves the community?
I think one of the biggest things, outside of our core mission of literacy is technology, that kind of literacy. Because when I started in 1995, the internet was just coming into the forefront, and it was something that became more and more important. So I think that's when I really saw, and we continue to be like the educators of the community as far as new technologies. When I first started, we were teaching, introduction to the internet, how to sign up for an email. And now we're doing stuff like AI and smart home technology. So I think in technological literacy, that's where we've really, grown in the last 25 years.
That's right. And you're mentioning things that nowadays seems like second nature to so many people, but back at the time was very, very new. So I would imagine that there was a lot of adaptation during that time. And
Yes.
Now I want to talk about how the library's physical appearance has changed, either structurally or in how it's being used by the public. What have you seen in that nature?
I mean, structurally, anybody who remembers the old library, and I could barely remember it, I always tell people, but I mean, the new library reflects everything we didn't have before. Like the room I'm sitting in now is our meeting room, which the community can use for HOA meetings and things like that. We have a smaller conference room. We have, far more computer resources than what we used to have. We have a beautiful youth room, far more than what we had, with an activity center. Just everything. We have 14 group study rooms, and those are super popular, and we didn't have any of that before. So, I think that those are the things that, and we had a computer lab at one time, but that has sort of transitioned into a multi-purpose room. And now we can do more maker-oriented stuff. We have a 3D printer in there. We have a laser cutter. So that's the kind of stuff that's changed.
That's right. So many great resources right at our fingertips when you walk into the library. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, I'm talking with West Bloomfield Township Public Library Young Adult Services Coordinator Steve Ketchum, talking about the Civic Center Campus Library's 25th anniversary, their silver anniversary, might I add, and all of the big changes that have taken place with the library within the last 25 years. Now, Steve, what feedback have you received from patrons about how the library has impacted their lives or their learning journeys? Because I would imagine that there have been a lot of things to say over the last 25 years.
Yeah, again, I think it falls into, what I said earlier. I mean, there's a lot of people who, thank us for helping with literacy for their children, offering books, even throughout life, from young people all the way to elderly. Technology, again, we are the go-to in this community for technology training. We do one-on-one technology training with people as well. So a lot of our, more elderly population use that service. So, they are so thankful. They are very happy. I mean, we offer just so many resources. Our group study rooms yesterday, power was out for a chunk of West Bloomfield. And we were just inundated with people who needed a place to work, study, and they used our study rooms, and they were so thankful that we were here to provide that internet as well.
That's right. Lots of great resources you provide, especially for people who are in a bit of a bind when it comes to weather situations like you just mentioned. Now, with this being the 25th anniversary, I'm really curious. Is the main branch or is the West Bloomfield Library doing any special events or exhibits or celebrations to mark this anniversary and to celebrate it?
Yeah, so I can't get into much because it's still in the planning phases, but
Sure.
We will do some sort of celebration in the fall. There will also be some kind of historical display, about the library over time. And we're also coming up with some really cool new swag that will celebrate our 25th anniversary as well. So more to come in that regard.
All right, leave me on the edge of my seat. Can't wait to hear what's to come in the coming months. Now, Steve, as we just mentioned, you have been with the West Bloomfield Library since before this main branch was even here. You've been here since 1995, 30 years. And I'm curious, what has the West Bloomfield Library meant to you personally?
I just think it is. I mean, this is the only library I ever have worked at. When I got out of graduate school, my master's in library science, I ended up here at West Bloomfield. And, I've stayed here ever since because I think, one, this community is an avid supporter of the library, which I greatly appreciate, and I try to give back as much as I can. I think this facility is just amazing. I mean, being 25 years old, like, you wouldn't even know it. I mean, it is so beautiful, and the details are so timeless. It doesn't seem like out of date, like it was something built in 2000. I mean, it just, never looks old. And, just the people I work with, they're people that I love working with here. The cool thing too is because I've been here so long, I have seen people over time, like kids that I knew when I first came here are now adults with their own children. So it's very important to me. I mean, I'm very touched that I've been able to stay here, and I hope I can stay here till the end of my career. So I just love the community and the library.
I love hearing that, Steve. And once again, big congratulations to the West Bloomfield Library for this incredible anniversary. I got one more question before we wrap things up. We've seen what the last 25 years have brought to Greater West Bloomfield. What do you hope the next 25 will look like for the West Bloomfield Township Library?
Well, again, I hope that we continue to grow and meet the needs of our community as they evolve and change. I hope that we continue building, strengthening our partnerships with the community, Parks and Rec. We have a great relationship with the schools, and we go in and promote literacy in the schools. So I hope that we continue to grow and expand on that at a time when less and less people are, younger people are reading. So, and I just hope that we stay in the forefront. We do our best to be leaders in the library field and to give our community everything we possibly can.
And you provide so much for this community, and the community is grateful for everything that you do. Steve, thank you so much for joining us today here on The Splash Live.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Keep up to date with the library on WBLIB.org or on Facebook at West Bloom LIB. Greater West Bloomfield lauds itself as one of Michigan's best places to start and run a small business. And that aligns quite well with the information when you zoom out to look at Michigan from a bird's eye view. Our state recently ranked at number 6 in the country by CNBC amongst the best states in the union for businesses. How do these factors that earned these honors for the state affect our businesses close to home? That's the big question for Jamar Bray from Oakland Thrive, who joins us now on the Splash Live. Jamar, thank you so much for being with us.
No, thank you for the opportunity. I'm looking forward to it, and ready to talk about business.
Yeah, it's good news for businesses, I'd imagine, here in our community and throughout the state of Michigan. When you have a designation like this from a reputable organization like CNBC that says Michigan's among the top 10 states in the U.S. for businesses, how does that ultimately impact our small businesses and hometowns like Greater West Bloomfield?
Yeah, I mean, I think it gives you a clear indication that you're in the right place. As a entrepreneur and small business owners throughout, they oftentimes doubt themselves if, did I choose the right area or did I choose the right business to go into for the area? But even when you look at just how powerful the state is, and even locally, how we pour into our entrepreneurs, how we have different programs like Oakland Thrive, that's in Oakland County, and we have different programs throughout Wayne and Macomb County. So, and just locally in West Bloomfield, how Oakland Thrive, how we support our entrepreneurs to stay active in the community. And we have trainings and seminars and different resources. So I think just is really more or less the camaraderie that this community has built in order to build up the business community and continue to promote from within, continue to promote small business. And I think that's why you see this ranking come out, because the dedication to small businesses throughout our state.
In Michigan, jumping 3 spots from number 9 back in 2024. It was number 10 in 2023. It's the 4th time it's appeared in CNBC's top 10 states for businesses since it began doing this poll. Michigan also ranking 4th in the cost of doing business. All of these factors combining, Jamar, how do they set up businesses in our local area, especially those that are starting off, for having that early momentum that can be really critical to maintaining a small business for many years?
Yeah, I think honestly, it's really just getting entrenched into the community. I mean, there's a lot of different chambers and different resource partners that offer so much help, so you can promote your business, so you can start your business. I know with the West Bloomfield Chamber, there's a lot of events that they do for both startups and operational businesses. So I think when you look at how great the community is when you first start out, and it can be a struggle. Everyone knows when you first start a business, it's uncomfortable. But when you have resources out there, and when you have a team of people that is sitting there waiting for you, to really bolster your success, and I think that is really why you see so many people are starting and keeping businesses for years upon years, because of the longevity and their touch to the community.
Among the different factors that contributed to the rise in rankings from number 9 in 2024 to number 6 in 2025 from CNBC, infrastructure, workforce, quality of life, and as we mentioned, cost of doing business. Jamar, diving deeper into those details, you talk to these small businesses here in Oakland County and specifically here in Greater West Bloomfield. What do you think are some of those more direct factors that lead to Michigan being such a pleasant place for people to not only do business, but an economical place for people to start and maintain, and especially to grow their small businesses?
Yeah, and just to kind of just piggyback on just the resources that are available, but not only that, you see where a lot of people are starting to build a multiple different ways of doing business. You have people that's even doing trucking, and you have people it's so diverse here in Michigan, where in certain communities throughout, you'll see, one state is more dominated in this particular area or in this particular geographic. But when you see in the state of Michigan, and even locally in West Bloomfield, you see that this is a very retail-friendly city. And so when you look at how many people have retail and restaurants that are opening up locally, I mean, it is truly amazing. And I think the issue now, with a lot that's going on that's out of their control with, anything that's overseas and trying to, ship and everything. I think when also they take that factor out and see that there's partners within the community that they can, have a supplier with, I think it's truly amazing. And just seeing the community come together, I think it's so easy for everyone to distance themselves and go into a silo and say, I'm in this particular business and I don't need help. The Greater West Bloomfield really believes in just helping each other in whatever way they can.
And it's all very sunny informational and information, and super welcome to have this sort of honor from a nationally reputed organization like CNBC, ranking Michigan in the top 10 states for businesses and just a stone's throw away from the top 5. But it's really tough to ignore other more recent information, particularly about unemployment when it comes to the state of Michigan. Those numbers not really been improving in recent months in particular, but small businesses with the economical successes that they can be having as a result of some of those factors that have led to Michigan being in the top 10 states for businesses, how maybe can they contribute to taking some of those people that are struggling to get back into the workforce and using their talent and their expertise to not only grow their business, but to give those people jobs that they're going to really have an opportunity to grow at?
And I definitely agree with you. I think using the talents that are in the community, and I think a lot of times, oftentimes businesses don't know. If I'm just sitting in the business and I'm sitting and I'm working on the business, I don't even know about the talent that is outside of, these four walls. But, partnering with the Michigan Works who can help you, find that talent. So when I say there's resources, there are plenty of resources. So you can identify those talents and partner with organizations as such. But I think it's more or less going to a deeper dive into really those silos that I mentioned, right? So, if you don't know what's in the community because you're not in the community as much as, doing networking or different events, you wouldn't know about the talent that's there. So I believe that a lot of businesses, when they take a step back and they think about, how can I really give back to my community? And it's really just partnering with the Michigan Works, like I mentioned, because I believe that they'll be able to find that talent for you and kind of foster that idea of bringing the community back together. And no one wants to be unemployed. I mean, it's just too high out here. The cost of everything is way too high to be unemployed. So, whatever way that small businesses can really tap into the community to bring people back to work, I think is definitely what at Oakland Thrive we also foster as well.
Jamar Bray is with us from Oakland Thrive, a West Bloomfield business consultant, joining us on the Splash Live. You can get more information on Oakland Thrive on their website, oaklandthrive.org, and how they can help your small business with some of these different helpful tools and tips right here in our community and around Oakland County. Jamar, there's so much talk about infrastructure playing such a big role in Michigan, rising through these ranks. But when people think of infrastructure, they usually think about the basics. They think about pipelines. They think about especially roads. And there's going to be a huge debate about whether the roads are a source of the improvement here. But when we dive into these articles about why Michigan's rising the ranks in terms of business friendliness, that infrastructure really comes back to innovation, particularly on the technological side. How has Michigan sort of been on the forefront of new technologies, especially AI, but also with it being home to things like Automation Alley and so on? How does that play into Michigan's prospects for the present and the future in business?
I mean, it is huge. I mean, you look at, there's even a Project Diamond where, they're actually, helping people learn, 3D printing, and those people are starting to turn, what they thought was going to be a hobby into a full-time business with the 3D printing. So I believe that AI is starting to really, well, I would say programs like Automation Alley and different other programs are starting to really integrate with the people of how to learn about the AI change. AI is going to be here, and it's either you're gonna learn it or it's going to pass you by. And a lot of people you're seeing are jumping in that boat and really moving it into where their business can thrive off of AI. And of course, there's always a personal touch that you need to have. But when you have Automation Alley who's pouring into the community, and you have Project Diamond, when you have those different programs throughout the community that is dedicated to teaching you about AI, instead of it being an enemy, it can be your friend. So I'm seeing that a lot in the local community, and it's really amazing to see the different innovation ideas that come from it.
Oakland Thrive's Jamar Bray joins us on the Splash Live as he talks about the local impact of Michigan being ranked number 6 in the country in terms of the best states for businesses by CNBC. It's the 4th time they've reached the top 10 in these honors in recent years. They're also 13th for workforce, 14th for quality of life, and 18th overall out of the 50 states for the economy. Jamar, all of that comes back to momentum for our small businesses in Oakland County and here in Greater West Bloomfield. So before we let you go, how can Oakland Thrive help these businesses take that momentum and make the most out of it for their present and future?
Well, that's the best question of the day right there. I think the way we offer our trainings and workshops and seminars that are dedicated to the different topics that are plaguing the small business community, whether it's AI, whether it's tax help, accounting help, whatever you can think of. Just when you go to the website, you'll be able to see our profiles. You'll see all the beautiful consultants in different areas, but you'll also be able to see our website and see the trainings that are going on, and even if there's a question that you have on AI or your business or how can Oakland Thrive help you, please feel free to give us a call. email, if you're on social media, Facebook, Instagram, we'll even send a pigeon to you. Whatever you need, we want to make sure that Oakland Thrive is here for you and in whatever capacity that we can. So different trainings and workshops that we offer is just the baseline of everything that we're doing to give everything back to the community to booster everything up from there.
Plenty of helpful resources are available on their website, oaklandthrive.org. You can also call them at 248-602-0040. Jamar, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Once again, the phone number, 248-602-0040. Join them on oaklandthrive.org and across social media at Oakland Thrive for even more information and to see how they can help your small business close to home. While many kids are spending their summers working odd jobs to get some experience and make some money and pay for things like their cars and so on and so forth, many have already been exploring their long-term careers right here in our community. It's all part of a partnership between the West Bloomfield Police Department and many of its local neighbors for the Regional Youth Police Academy, giving an inside look at law enforcement careers for the officers of tomorrow. Civic Center TV's Kevin McIntosh spoke to two local kids who went through the academy for a closer look.
Nathan Lorzay and Julia Bailey, thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Appreciate you for taking time for being here, and thank you for putting yourself out there to join the police academy. And I want to hear from both of you in this regard, starting with you, Julia, if you don't mind. What made you decide to even apply and join the 2025 Regional Youth Police Academy?
I wanted to try something new because I had no idea what I want to do in the future. So I just wanted to see new experiences.
Okay, great way to kind of explore options and see what's out there. Same for you, Nathan.
Basically, I had no idea what like police do really, so I just wanted to try something new and just experience like the police like life and stuff like that.
Okay. So I would assume there's a lot of moving parts here, a lot going on, expectations versus impressions. So Nathan, I want to start with you. What was your expectations of the academy versus what you actually saw in your first impressions?
So first, I used to think that police is just were like just a lot of high action things, just attacking criminals and all that stuff. But then I realized when I first got there, I realized it's like more like fun stuff and more like things that there's like more to it than just like it's getting criminals and just putting them in jail and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. So would you say there's a lot more paperwork involved? What was some of the, you said the fun stuff, what would some of the fun stuff be?
So like a lot of them are like very social, I think. I saw that. And I saw like there's just more things to do over there, just like than I'm getting criminals and stuff like that.
I love that. Okay. So, Julia, going to you, how would you, or can you describe any of the hands-on activities or demonstrations that you were a part of that kind of stood out to you?
Yeah. So one of the things that stood out to me, we had a simulation of a felony stop, and that was really fun. So you got to be like the cop who's pulling somebody over, and then it happens to be a criminal. That was really cool.
Oh, wow. I'm assuming there was no real criminals involved in these activities at all, by the way. No felons, just all examples. But that's good. That's good first hands-on experience as well. So continue on with you, Julia. What did you learn overall about police work that surprised you the most?
What surprised me the most was like the behind-the-scenes stuff that you don't really get to see. Like we had this one thing like fingerprint work, and then they said there's a lot of paperwork they have to do after each thing, which surprised me.
See, yeah, and that's the thing that a lot of us don't necessarily know about, the paperwork that goes behind the police work. That's what I talked about or briefly mentioned before, that I know there's paperwork involved, but I don't think we necessarily know that they actually have to go back to the office, sit behind a desk, and do a lot of work as well. So joining me right here live on The Splash, by the way, from the West Bloomfield Police Department Police Academy, we have Academy students Nathan Lorzay and Julia Bailey talking about their experience, expectations versus impressions, etc., etc. Nathan, getting back to you, I know there's a lot that you can learn, you can soak in with this experience, but are there any specific skills or lessons that you feel like you can take just beyond just the traditional police career that you can just use in life?
Yeah, so I would say they use like a lot of communication rather. So communication is like a big part in life, I think, I would say.
Okay. So, and let's elaborate a little bit more. In regards to what communication? You mean just speaking to fellow officers, citizens?
Yeah, I saw a lot of teamwork together, and I saw just how they work together as a team, really, and I saw they worked really well together, I saw.
Nice. So how was it, going to you, Julia, how was it working as a team? I know there's a lot of activities where you all had to work together. So how was it working as a team with people that are all in your peer group?
Oh, it was great. Like, I feel like everybody got along super well, and so communication ran very smooth, and it was just great.
So overall, with this experience so far, how do you feel like it has or is influencing your future career interests? This is for both of you, but starting with you, Julia.
I think it has given me some experience to like learn from for future job opportunities or anything like that, and it's really gotten me insight into the field of like the police academy and stuff.
Okay.
And it's interests me a lot more.
Okay. Same question for you, Nathan.
Oh yeah, so really, I don't know what I want to do yet for my future, but like now going to that like academy that like taught me like I'm gonna have a little bit of interest in police academy and like police stuff.
Good. I like that. Essentially, that's what the program is for, to provide these career opportunities or just the opportunity to experience different endeavors, especially within our community. That way it gives you options and it opens up your mind for different things that's out there, even within our community. Is there anything, this question for both of you, starting with you, Nathan, is there anything that you haven't experienced at this police academy that you have interest in experiencing?
I would say more like that's a good question. So when he's asking me that, you mean like at like what police do?
Yeah, if there's anything that you've seen police officers do, whether it's on movies and TV or just in real life, that you may have wanted to experience here that you haven't yet or you haven't at all.
Oh, definitely like maybe like breaking inside a house or something like that. I've seen it on like TV shows and stuff like that.
Interesting. That's some of that high-powered action stuff that the police get involved with. I can completely understand that adrenaline rush. You too, Julia.
For me, I think I'd be interested in seeing more like defensive tactics. Like we went over it a little bit, but more for like self-defense kind of thing.
Good one. I can see a lot of value in that, even beyond the entire police academy experience in general. By the way, with me right here on the Splash Live, we have West Bloomfield Police Department Academy students Nathan Lorzay and Julia Bailey talking about their overall experience with the West Bloomfield Police Academy as well. Don't want to hold you up too much longer, just asking you all in general a few more questions. First and foremost, Julia, how would you describe this experience, I should say, to someone who's considering applying next year?
It's a really fun, like camp-like experience where you get to do a bunch of cool things. You get to do like fingerprinting. You get to pretend you're on a crime scene. That picture right there, it's a drug testing machine. That was really cool.
Okay, wow. They have a lot of interesting things going on. Same thing with you, Nathan. How would you describe this experience for someone who may be curious?
Oh, yeah, so I would definitely recommend doing it because it taught me like a lot of different skills and like different activities to do. So it was really fun to me, and there's a lot of like other things like, you know, you can talk to friends and all that stuff. So it was really fun.
Oh, yeah, I love that. And I'm glad that you both had this experience well, and I'm glad that you both took the time to actually sit and share this as well. This is very important because we want other people, the other youth in our community, to also understand the work of the police department from your perspective, as well as possibly gain interest in this and other careers as well. We want to thank you both again. Once again, joining me from the West Bloomfield Police Department Academy students Nathan Lorzay and Julia Bailey. Thank you both for your time.
Thank you.
More information on the Regional Youth Police Academy is available on the West Bloomfield Police Facebook page at West Bloomfield PD and involves many of our local police departments, including West Bloomfield, Bloomfield Township, and many others throughout Southeast Michigan. We'll take a break on the Splash Live. Plenty more coming up, including a beloved basketball star coming close to home to teach the fundamentals of basketball and more to the next generation. Live, local, social. The Splash Live returns next on Civic Center TV and 80. 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. This is Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. On cable and the radio. On the web too, and on social media. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home.
Can't be late to your own party. Hurry up! Hurry up! Ah! Do not cut me off. It's her fault. Her fault. Ah! You kidding me? Honk, honk, honk! Honk, honk, honk! Honk, honk! Late! Out of my way! Honk! I hate construction!
You should have slowed down.
My party.
You wouldn't act this way in a store, so don't act this way on the road. Driving slower saves lives.
I'm Gina Gregory, president of the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society. I'm excited that Civic Center TV has reached 1 million views on YouTube. Congratulations. That's just terrific. We appreciate everything Civic Center does for the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society and the community. For us, they promote and highlight our events. It's awesome to have them available 24/7 on YouTube. I'm Gina Gregory and proud to be one in a million.
And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social, welcome back to The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Tyler Kieft. Thank you so much for joining us and for always keeping to date with all of our programming on civiccentertv.com. A beloved Spartan and Piston star is coming close to home next week to help develop the next generation of our athletes here in the Greater West Bloomfield area. The annual Gregory Kelser basketball camp returns to West Bloomfield High School on Monday for a week of fundamentals, not only in round ball, but also in life. Civic Center TV's Kevin McIntosh spoke to Special K himself to learn even more.
Thank you for being here, Mr. Kelser. Special K.
Yeah, good morning, and thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, okay, so I want to be honest. I just want to have a conversation with you now. I've had you on, talked to you before. 46 years, am I reading this right? 46 years you've been doing this? Why? What's the motivation?
This is actually our 48th year. We started in 1978 at the West Bloomfield Jewish Community Center. It was you said 1977. You're not totally off there. Actually, it was in 1977 that I worked the Dick Vitale Bob Lanier basketball camp at West Bloomfield High School. And I came away from that feeling like I could do it too. Gotcha. I was 20 years old when I did my first camp, and I've been doing them ever since. It's been really gratifying to know that maybe in some small way we've had impact on people now that are 60 years old, if I will, if you will. Yeah, because it's been that long. My first camp, I was 20. My oldest campers were 15, so they're just, a few years younger than me now. But that's the legacy. And, it's really nice to hear them say, well, you know what, I remember you doing this, or you saying this, and, it helped change my attitude towards education or, work ethic and having a good attitude. So that's what the camp is really all about. We teach a lot of basketball, but we also like to take pride in the life skills that we're able to extend as well.
And I want to ask you about that as well. That's good that you brought that up. By the way, the camp will be held July 21st through the 25th, if I'm not mistaken, 9 a.m., 2:30 p.m., West Bloomfield High School, boys and girls aged 7 to 17. Now, I want to ask you about that. 7 to 17 seems like a very random number, but why specifically those ages of 7 to 17?
Well, 7 will include kids that are in the second grade, and 17 will include kids that are probably moving into their senior years of high school. And when you've got a facility as big and as nice as the West Bloomfield High School, then you can have the adequate separation. The young kids are with the young kids, the older kids are with the older kids, and they don't intersect, they don't get in each other's way, and everybody comes away feeling fully fulfilled, and again feeling like they have been able to get the individual attention that they might need. We pride ourselves on that as well, with a wonderful 10-to-1 coach to camper ratio, 1 coach to every 10 campers.
Okay.
And
nice.
And it's a good mix. It's a really good mix. It's proven to be really beneficial, we see, for the youngsters, the boys and girls. And that's the other thing, you know. Sometimes the girls will play with the guys if they feel they're good enough. And we've had some camps where the girls are really, really starred.
Let's go.
The guys. But typically, we try to keep everybody in their skill level. That's
right.
the thing,
Okay.
your skill level.
Interesting. Rather than just dividing them up by girl and boy skill level, I love that. Regardless, because it kind of helps everybody stay sharp as well. Couple other things I want to ask you about. We talked about the off court. Some of the factors in regards to that and some of those skills. What do you believe is the most important off the court lesson that you give to your campers?
That their education is essential. This is something I learned from my parents, who were 100% behind my athletic endeavors. But they constantly preached to me how all of those are privileges, but that the education aspect is essential, and it's the one thing that will carry me the furthest. And, you know, they were talking about it, even if I were to go on and play professional sports, I wouldn't be able to do it forever, and your education will come into play at some point. They were exactly right.
Yeah.
And all of my coaches, we all have gone the path. You know, I have some coaches who played in the NBA, others who played college basketball, many of whom coach now in some aspect of basketball, would be at AAU or high school or recreationally. So they know the game, but they also know how important it is to develop the entire individual and not just the athletic part of a child. I am a staunch supporter of having a great attitude and the work ethic that you put into being a good basketball player or a good athlete. You must exceed that effort and have even greater determination in the classroom on a daily basis. That's your job right now, first and foremost.
Yep, and it means so much more coming from a professional like yourself, Mr. Kelser, and we appreciate you for providing that opportunity and that information. One thing out of my personal curiosity I want to ask, the WNBA announced the expansion in the city of Detroit, possibly the return of the Shock. How do you feel about that, your initial reactions? How do you feel like that will impact the youth girls basketball in the Metro Detroit area as well?
Well, I think it's wonderful. You know, I remember when I was in high school, I used to help out with the girls' team. Myself and two of my teammates, we did it for two reasons. We did it so that we could stay in the gymnasium. And we also had great interest in the girls and their progress and learning the game. And the game has come so very far since then. Yeah. And I've actually called a lot of WNBA games myself as a broadcaster, including the WNBA finals in 3 different years. So I have a great appreciation for the game and the opportunities that it provides for young girls who can now, like the boys, aspire to be professional athletes and to be professional basketball players. I think it's wonderful.
Correct.
And it's great to have the Shock back here, because you cannot write or tell the WNBA's history up to this point without
the Shock. Let's go.
Having serious chapter or two about the success of the Detroit Shock when they were here, 10 or so, 12 years ago.
Yeah, me and my coworkers talk about it all the time, man. It's written in stone in history, and true Detroit fans know all about it. Hey, Mr. Kelser, we're short on time, but we appreciate you so much. Wish we could ask you more, but thank you again for being here and for your time. Once again, Mr. Gregory Kelser talking about his basketball camp that'll be held at West Bloomfield High School, July 21st through the 25th, 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. for girls and boys ages 7 to 17. Thank you again so much for your time, sir.
Thank you, and you do a great job too. Congratulations.
That's our show. Want to remind you that television that's close to home is always online on civiccentertv.com and across our social media. You can also sign up for our newsletter each and every week, civiccentertv.com. There's a QR code and the link at the very top of our page. Big thank you to our entire crew and to you for joining in. For our entire team, I'm Tyler Kieft. Live, local, social, it's been The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.